Good morning. So now that we have identified these core grassland areas as objects, we want to compare them to the college lands that we did in, I think, step two. And we just want to be able to select the core grassland objects that touch a part of a college land. Is that fair? So you've done this already, but I'm just gonna kind of, if you could probably do this without me walking you through it, but I'm just gonna walk you through it in case you'd like the help. And so we're going to select by location to isolate grasslands on college lands. I made this container to store the result called college grasslands. And the basic idea is that what we're going to need to do is say that this result is going to be equal to grassland objects, right? This is the thing that we're trying to kind of filter. So this is the table that has a lot of rows, and we want to just select the rows that meet our criteria, which is the kind of spatial intersection with this other feature. I might call it a target sometimes in my notes, but this is the college land parcels that we created in step two. So I'm going to go up there and copy it, bring it down, and say, look at that. And then I'm going to ask to look at it. So college grasslands. So this is why sometimes the double click is just easier to avoid the spelling errors. And then I'm going to say color, right? I'm going to go gold, but it's color because the output's going to be a feature collection. And these are going to be grassland cores on college lands. And then I'm going to say false and save it and run it. Wait for that star to go away eventually, and then it'll run through. And what we should get is our grassland cores on college lands, and I'm going to turn on grassland objects as well and wait for it. And so there's the grassland objects, and then the grassland cores should be a smaller set that is going to be drawn in gold that appears on top. So those are the core grasslands that we've identified that actually have at least some part on college land. Is that fair? And as long as that bar is white, it means it's still drawing. The vector, both the raster and the vector, come in as little as tiles, and so you'll see little squares kind of populate in of data. But that's what we're just waiting for, and it's taken a little while. But this is somewhat of a big ask. And so, okay, so there's that, and then let's just look at what we get over here on the console. So we now have 109 objects where if I wanted to, I could type in, it would probably be helpful to say grassland objects size here to get a sense of how many grassland objects we identified when we first just kind of made objects out of them, and then how many do we now have that we have isolated the ones that overlap college lands. So we went from 920 core grasslands in our study region to 109. Is that fair? So I think this makes sense. Makes sense over here that we've gotten to a smaller number, and it makes sense over here when we actually kind of compare the two. And so I'm going to hit save and move on.